Why does boarding matter? Because I survived 5 years of it.
Honestly, I was here for 3 years, 87 to 90, and it was like summer camp. I mean, I probably shouldn't say that, but it was probably the best 3 years of my life.
It matters because it's different. I think you meet a lot of people that you would never have a chance to meet, and the fact that you live with them 24/7. I was there for 2 years. You really, I think, develop friendships that you wouldn't be able to develop in a different setting. So for me, that's really what made the difference.
Without boarding, it would just be another high school like any other school in Toronto.
Well, I think it gives one an experience very early in life of living away from your parents.
Well, that's pretty difficult because two of them are in here.
I mean, I'm thinking of a bunch of friends who are here. I'm not trying to be diplomatic, like not name one instead of another, you know?
I guess my wife. Does that make any sense at all?
Yeah, that works, hey.
Because maybe if we had 15 years more experience together, she would accept certain things about me better.
I was always the person who I think nobody wanted to room with because I was extremely messy.
I roomed with a couple interesting guys. I roomed with Arnold Sepeshi in my first year, and that was quite an experience, and that's lots of ups and downs, but overall a great experience.
So I had very low expectations of who I was going to room with. It was basically who would be willing to room with me.
One of them I had two of them, three of them, like three of us in one room for my second year, and that was great. Great friends. I still see one of them quite regularly.
Colin Mason has been my friend since we met here in 1941 when his school was evacuated from the UK at the beginning of the war.
I was with David Monahan for, I think, 2 years, and that was an agreeable. He didn't mind my mess, and I didn't mind his quirkiness.
I've got one. But you know, you had to sign in when you went out. And so if you got permission to go out at night, you had to sign in what time you came back. I was supposed to be back at a certain time. I might have been 11 o'clock. And so I know I was late, but I figured, well, they won't notice. So I signed in as 11 o'clock. I failed to notice that the person before me had signed in at 12 o'clock.
They found out.
Well, I had a girlfriend in Toronto. And enough said.
You know what? My housemaster was Michael Miller, and I thought he didn't know about most of the things that I did, but he knew absolutely everything, and he told me about them about 15 years later.
Housemasters tended to find out a lot, and then but I'd also be quite selective about what they found out about.
Having friends going in and stuffing your bed so it looks like somebody's in there. Oh yeah. That was done more than once.
I had a very good friend here, and we both loved jazz music. And I remember we sneaked out one night and went down to Maple Leaf Gardens to see Charlie Spivak, and we got caught coming in.
Oh, that he never found out about. I can tell you one that they did find out about, and I was on the last pajama parade on BSS, and when we snuck out of Seaton's at 3 in the morning, went over to BSS and woke everybody up. The girls leaned out the window throwing rolls of toilet paper at us. Jimmy Douglas, who became a well-known Canadian actor, as I recall, was picked up by the Forest Hill police and taken to the station for a few minutes. And the remark that we were all told he said to the police was, "What's the matter? Have you never seen a bunch of hard-up criminals before?"
Well, I don't know whether it was my favorite or not, but I know why my father put me into boarding, because he figured I'd never get through if I didn't. Because at home, you know, you're on your own to study. Here, you have a study time, you study. And it worked for me.
It's just the atmosphere. It's just, you can have a bad day at school or just feel under the weather, and then you're just there, you're with your best friends.
Watching the hockey games in Raphael's room in Seaton's, I remember well.
Favorite thing?
For me, definitely being able to play sports at any time, all the time. I loved it. I loved playing hockey and tennis anytime.
I don't know, the endless hours of detention, the missing all the sleep, the running for prayers, or running for breakfast at 8:13.
Boarding, I guess it was making friends. I just don't have any bad experiences that I can think of.
The camaraderie, for sure. Just the storytelling and, the outside of the classroom stuff. Just sitting around and swapping stories and getting to know each other and learning from each other in the visitors' room right behind you.
It was the other boarders that were the highlight. It was always there was always somebody to talk to. It was like having a lot of brothers.